Mount Jumullong. It's a very, very beautiful hike with these like rolling mountains and then the sea on one side here. And this is just one of the many things you can do here in Guam or on Guam. Welcome to one of the many things to do here in Guam, or on Guam, however you prefer to say it. But right now, we are hiking. This lady, and me, we are hiking up to the summit of a little mountain here on Guam called Mount Jumullong, something like that. But it's a very, very beautiful hike with these like rolling mountains and then the sea on one side here. And this is just one of the many things you can do here in Guam or on Guam. Yeah, I just said the summit, so.
On the way down, there's kind of like a Y. Take a left. It's going to be the highest point on Guam. There's an American flag and a Guam flag up there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty dope too, so.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Right.
So the hike here to the summit, where actually there's a lot of crosses up on the hill, you can see it from the beginning. It's supposed to be something like, I think, 45 minutes or 1 hour to get up there, depending on your speed, your fitness level, and all of that. But we just ran into a guy that was just right here passing us with his dog, and he did say you can go up there to the crosses, or you can go to the left and you can actually get to the highest point on Guam. Not sure how high it is, but I expect it to be just probably a tad bit higher than where we are going. So we'll see if we have enough energy at the top of this hill. Maybe we can make it to the highest point on Guam. Well, as we make our way up this hill here and lose a little bit of oxygen, let me tell you a quick summarized story or definition of Guam. If you've never heard that word before, or maybe you know of it, Guam is just a U.S. territory, actually the U.S.'s only territory that is far enough west, I guess we can say, towards Asia. So it's a very strategic location for its military exercises and things like that. But it is located along the Mariana Trench, just off the coast of Philippines, I guess. About 3-hour flight, 3.5 hour flight, I think, from the Philippines to the island here. As you can see behind me, that is the northwestern side of the island that faces towards Japan, I guess, or China, Korea, that way. So Guam is one of the 5 territories that the United States has some control of. And here it is a very, very diverse piece of land because of the volcanic region. If you don't know, it's the Pacific Ring of Fire. So there's lots of volcanic islands that were made from volcanoes. And here the terrain is all over the place. You have little steep hills, rolling hills, beaches, cliffs, everything. So there's quite a lot to do, and I've now been here for a little bit more than a month, I think, or just about a month, and finally getting out to do a real adventure. So if you can tell, this is my fit check for hiking. I probably look like I'm going to play football or soccer, but this is my hiking wear because it's so hot and humid here. the climate. But yeah, soccer jersey, football jersey, shorts, and not hiking shoes because I'm a bit crazy. But anyways, we've just made it here, probably about 2/3 of the way up. You can see behind me there's some crosses. It says Roman numeral 9, cross number 9, because there's about 14 crosses on the way up, I believe, and they put these to kind of help you know if you're still on track or not. But the crosses are up there. That's the furthest point. We're very close. It's really not a bad hike at all. It's pretty easy. So let's keep going. As I was saying, the terrain, the landscape, the vegetation is very different all over the place. Like just a little while ago, we were going through like almost like a forest with many trees and leaves, and now here you just have about, I don't know, 10-foot sawgrass or something like that. So it changes very quickly. There's a lot of growth here because of the climate, so things grow very quickly with a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. And right now it is rainy season, so it is raining pretty often, sometimes every day, multiple times. Sometimes there'll be a couple days break or something like that. But don't be fooled by the nature here. Whoa, almost fell. All right, we're coming up on home stretch, and one of the best things about this viewpoint over here is that you will be able to see both sides of the island, the northwestern side and the southeastern or southwestern, yeah, you know, both sides of the Pacific Ocean. So there will be some very, very beautiful views. All right, so here we are at the top. This is the summit of Mount Jumullong, yeah, that's the name of it. But right here behind the camera, you have a nice, very, very good view. And if you can see down there, the water is very, very like turquoise color, very beautiful. But then on the other side, as I was saying, you can see a little bit of the other side of the island. Now, actually, straight that way would be the tip of the island, all the way down the other end. It takes about 40 minutes more or less to drive all the way down there. And right here in the middle, there is a lake, so the views are absolutely stunning. But this is a very famous summit because of this giant cross here you can see. And as I showed you, there are many crosses along the way because the island of Guam, the local people that live here, they are very religious. But the reason why there's this long cement cross here is because they put it here to commemorate the 300th anniversary of finding some of the oldest villages on Guam a long, long time ago. Because as I was maybe mentioning a little bit, this is a very complex area of the world, a very complex island with lots of history. The roots, they go pretty deep. And if you want to learn about it, I definitely recommend looking it up because you can't cover it all in one video. But yeah, it's beautiful. Just gonna take in the views and then work the way back down because that's how hiking works. Alright guys, just made it to the second place of exploration, of adventures today here on Guam. And this is, I don't know how to correctly pronounce it, Inarajan or Inalahan. But basically they are tidal pools that are washing up from the sea to the land here. And there's a little bit of man-made structures and natural made. So you have these nice seawater pools or tide pools that you can swim in. There's a platform to jump off of. It's a very cool place to come with friends and family and hang out. And so we might take a dip in here to cool off, eat a little bit of lunch, and then move on to something else to do today. So as you can tell, the view, the water looks very nice, so it's gonna be really refreshing. But then on the other side over here, you have the sea. and it's very nice just to hear the waves washing up. Very, very beautiful place. Alright, just made it to another location here on Guam to show you something different, a different angle. Actually didn't swim in the little tidal pools, just kind of checked it out. It got very crowded very quickly and decided to just go for a scenic ride along the southern part of the island and check out the views. But now we're here at Tumon Bay Reserve, or Preserve I mean, and it's a very big open part of coastal beach where you can swim. Very, very shallow, very nice turquoise water, and it's time to get in the water. So check out these views. Nice cold beer on a hot day. Oh, I'm spilling all over myself. Wow. This is a local beer here in Guam. It's a Golden Ale, and it's very, very tasty. That's for sure. So as you guys can see here, there's a bit of algae growing. It's very common all over the world though to have algae blooms, but it's actually not that bad. It's just in the beginning, and then as you begin to walk in, it clears up more, and so it's not really there. So it's not too big of a deal. So as you guys can tell, the water is extremely clear. It's turquoise. It's like that greenish blue color. And that's because of how shallow it is. It stays very, very shallow for a little ways because of the shelf. But if you don't really know, on one side of Guam is actually the Marianas Trench. So where the Marianas Trench is where it's the deepest, one of the deepest oceans in the world, something like 36,000 feet. Very, very deep, and yeah, it's like a drop off. So there's a wall, and it's very good for scuba diving and free diving and other activities like that. But the side that we're on here, the Tumon Bay, is not on that side, so it's a little bit less shallow, but it's still pretty deep because, let's face it, Guam is pretty much the top of like a mountain, a volcanic region, so it's going to be very deep all around it. But this is a very, very nice place to come and chill.